Prosecutors told a Washington court on Wednesday that the Justice Department wants to compel Google to sell off its Chrome browser and implement other significant changes to address its unlawful search monopoly. This marks a significant milestone in the historic case before the incoming Trump administration decides how to move forward. Google might become the first large tech business to be dismantled under federal antitrust law since AT&T in 1982 if the court follows the prosecutor's proposal. If a judge accepts a Justice Department plan to sell the company, Alphabet Inc.'s Chrome browser could fetch up to $20 billion worth. This would be an unprecedented crackdown on one of the largest internet businesses in the world. According to the Justice Department's proposed final judgment, Google must promptly and completely divest Chrome to a plaintiff's approved buyer in their sole discretion, subject to terms that the court and plaintiffs approve.
Well, the Department of Justice and a group of states may be opening the door to the most significant antitrust penalties for a tech giant in a generation. The DOJ has formally proposed a partial breakup of Google, urging a federal judge to force a sale of the company's web browser, Chrome. The high-profile case focuses on the tactics that Google used to become the dominant search engine in the United States. A ruling earlier this year had found that Google had violated U.S. antitrust laws, shutting out smaller search engines from the market. Our Elizabeth Schulze joins us now to just kind of explain what this all means. How strong is this case, you think, and what changes could we see if the penalties are approved?
Kara, we're looking at potentially massive changes when it comes to Google and its lucrative business model. I mean, keep in mind the suggestion from the Department of Justice that Google needs to sell Chrome would drastically upend the landscape for the tech company and also for consumers. 3.5 billion people, Kira, use Chrome as their main search engine. It is by far the most dominant player in that market, about 70% of market share. The next best option, if you go down the list, is Safari, which doesn't even have 20% market share. And that was really at the crux of the DOJ's argument. They said that Google is shutting out competitors. It simply has too much power and it's a monopoly. And of course, we have seen Google fiercely push back on those claims. It argues that it enables competition, that this is what consumers want, and any attempt to break it off would ultimately mean less choice and would harm consumers, Google says. So we do expect a decision on this from the judge next year, but probably a longer legal protracted battle ahead. And I think it is ultimately worth noting is even if they do have to sell it off, Kira, who's going to buy Chrome? Because that would come with a big price tag, and that could raise its own antitrust concerns too.
All right, Elizabeth Schulze, glad we have you. Thank you.
Google's chief legal officer and president of worldwide affairs, Kent Walker, responded to the filing by calling the Justice Department's plan unprecedented government overreach and staggering. According to Walker, Google would submit its own recommendations the following month and present a more comprehensive argument the following year. In August, U.S. District Court for the District of Columbia, Judge Amit P. Mehta declared that Google's search business was an illegitimate monopoly. In order to break Google's search monopoly, prosecutors asked for a long list of additional measures, such as prohibiting the company from paying device manufacturers like Apple to set Google search as the default search engine